Hello and welcome. Today's reading will be for Capricorn for April 2023. Welcome to the table, Capricorn. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I'll be using a 10-card spread with 5 cards along the top row and 5 cards along the bottom row. I'll be talking about those cards as they come out, and then I'll overlay them with the second deck of cards and talk about those cards as well. The flowers are from my garden and the crystals have been in their salt bath. I do hope you enjoy them. I do think they bring beautiful energy to the table. Okay, Capricorn, just a quick little bit more shuffle just to let you see that it's been done. Okay. First card out, 9 of Pentacles, lovely. Page of Pentacles in reverse, 6 of Wands in the upright position, Wheel of Fortune in the upright position. Just move these down a little bit. And the 9 of Cups in the upright position. On the bottom row, we've got the 4 of Cups, King of Swords, King of Pentacles, 9 of Wands in the reverse position, and the Queen of Pentacles in the upright position. Okay, I'll show you the bottom of the deck. There you go, and I'll have a look. Okay, Knight of Cups in the reverse position. Okay, I'll talk about these cards now. I do hold them up. I'd like you to engage with the reading, so if anything jumps out off the cards, a particular colour, a symbol, a posture, that may be relevant for you. So do take note of the cards, and if anything feels relevant, that may give you some extra insight. 9 of Pentacles. This person is independent, as you can see. Usually this is about money, independent wealth, independence. So the money that you've worked for, that you've worked hard for, something that you've created, this is yours. You are standing with respect and self-confidence, quiet within yourself. You don't need to grandstand, but you are very confident and self-assured. So that's a beautiful energy. So that's fantastic already, Capricorn. And as you can see, this is a highly creative card. So something that you've produced, something that you've put a lot of effort into to actually bring about this result. And this is due to your hard work and your efforts and your commitment. Here is this Page of Wands. It's in the reverse. I'll just show you in the upright position because every card looks somewhat different in the reverse position. In the reverse position, it looks like you are not able to draw down energy at the moment from the cosmos. Maybe you're waiting for some inspiration for a new project. It looks like you're unable to draw that energy down. Maybe this is just a period where you need to be static and just contemplate and think, and it's giving me very much a static energy here. So perhaps you're called upon to be just static and restful. He's in a very peaceful, he's just enjoying nature. Just be in a peaceful position. Maybe you just need to wait a week or two for things to move on. Sometimes the energy needs to shift and sometimes you just need to wait a little bit. 6 of Wands, so this is some sort of celebration or acknowledgement of the things you've achieved. This is where the work that you have done has inspired other people and they are glad to see what you've done. They think it's worthy of your efforts and they are showing you some respect and due credit for everything you've achieved. So that's a lovely card. As you can see, the candles are being lit from one to the other. So, you know, when somebody creates something beautiful or someone works hard, it does, other people see what you've achieved and they take inspiration from that as well, because it does lift the energy, it lifts the collective energy for everybody. If somebody can stand out, it does inspire other people. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune. So things are changing. So I do feel this Page of Wands here, which has this sort of static energy in the reverse position. I do feel that maybe that's just a slight pause before the energy starts to shift. There does seem to have been some slowness, and I have to say it feels, this year particularly feels very much like a water wheel is trying to turn, and it's almost as though there's not enough water to make that wheel turn round. But there's a lot, for me, I can feel a lot of watery energy around, so it's either the wheel is not quite deep enough in the water, or there's not enough volume of water to make your wheel turn around at the moment, but it's definitely coming, because there's the Wheel of Fortune. So you know, you may be sort of going through a period soon, I feel, of and I'll put it this way, of emotional energies washing up to the surface. So if you go through a stage in April of the emotional energies washing up to the surface, just allow it. It's like one of those slow fountains, one of those rock fountains, the round rock fountains where the water comes out and it just flows away. You don't need to engage heavily with that water, that emotional energy, just allow it to flow. Okay, I do feel there's an awful lot of watery energy around at the moment. Here's the Nine of Cups. This is a beautiful energy, as you can see. She's recumbent there, and the angels and the spirits are filling her cups. And, you know, you can see there's a lot of bounty there. She doesn't have to ask for her cup to be filled. It's just being filled. So this is where the cosmos actually is giving you some reward, perhaps for your patience, perhaps for your creativity. And this can be just the cosmos being generous to you. Sometimes we don't need to ask. Sometimes when we manifest something, more is given to us than we expect, and that is the case here. It looks like you're being blessed from the cosmos, so some blessings coming into you, and as you can see, this could be an answer to your prayers or just blessings coming in. Here we have the Four of Cups in the reverse position. So this is quite a solitary card. I'll show it to you in the reverse position. It does always have a different impact from the energy coming off the card when you look at it in the reverse position. It's almost the opposite. I don't know if you can see them both there. Can you see the posture is almost a mirror image, if you look at it like that? It's almost like a mirror image of the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is that beautiful feeling of abundance, and this in the reverse position is almost like that mirror image where the two energies are being reflected. He's sort of sitting in a different energy to what she's, you know, he's sitting there as the sun is setting, and she's sitting there in the full sunshine. So this is an energy of being a bit disconnected or a little bit cold emotionally, whereas as you can see, this is full of sort of vital energy. This Four of Cups here has this energy of being a little bit depleted, disappointed, this little bit of disconnect that's there. So it's almost the mirror image of that one. And he's sitting with the birds, so it's almost, can you see he's sitting there with the ducks. Now the ducks are the watery creatures, sort of, they splash in, and you know, when the water splashes about, then you get little reminders of the emotional energy that is around you. So be aware, like I said, about the emotional energy. Don't let it stick on you, so to speak. Just allow it to flow off you. Because I do feel at the moment with this watery energy around that if we get stuck in that watery energy, we can get pulled down into that water. King of Swords. Okay, again, this watery energy, but in this case, the sword is being offered to this king. So he is very clear thinking, very analytical. He knows what to do. He knows the truth. He uses his wisdom. So he's being offered this sword. So use that sword. If it's being offered to you, use it. Okay? Swords are useful for showing your strength and your determination and your commitment. Holding a sword gives you an immense amount of power, but it also shows your commitment and determination to do something. It's almost like holding a staff, but it's actually more powerful because it has sharp edges. So it's showing other people that you mean business. So if you need to show that you mean business in some way, And that is kind of like standing in your truth and standing in your power. Once you've got that sword in your hand, you are standing in your power, standing in your truth. You do mean business. You know what you want, and you are determined to get what you want. You know, he wouldn't be a king of swords if he wasn't skilled at using that sword. And that requires, in some cases, making cuts. There are all circumstances in which we need to make cuts. Now, it's interesting that it's under this page of a page of wands reversed. So, whereas the page is sort of young and inexperienced, the king is in his full power. So, you know, this is the more powerful card, the more powerful energy. And perhaps sometimes when you go into that intellectual mode, when you are standing in your power, when you're doing your clear thinking and your analysis, you're not necessarily in the most creative mode. Sometimes the two don't mesh very well. So, you know, there may be a sort of a little period here where you're being more analytical than you are being creative. But that's fine too. You know, we need to step into these moments of clear thinking and analysis and showing who we really are. Here's the King of Pentacles. Okay, so you've already got two kings on the table, so that's quite good, and they're standing next to one another. So the King of Pentacles is able to create and manifest. He is somebody who's very attached to the earth, very grounded. He's very committed to his projects. Not only does he think about his projects, but he knows how to bring about the success of those projects. He knows how to implement what he needs to implement. He knows how to take the action, to put it into action, to bring the rewards from his efforts. So this is somebody who puts in the effort and brings in the result. This person does the analysis and the thinking. He analyzes the situation and works out how to go about it. And this person executes it and brings it home. So both of them are kings, so very, very strong energy here on the table. So that's good. That means a lot of power to you, Capricorn. So it's good to be well grounded as well. So excellent, excellent. Here we've got the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is in the reverse position. Actually, you can see in the upright position, they've travelled quite some distance. This can be fatigue and weariness. This can be a sense of, I've travelled such a long road to get here, or I've weathered some storms. It's been a bit of a lonely journey. It's in the reverse position, so it looks like this Wheel of Fortune, this turning of this Wheel of Fortune is part of this long and extended journey that perhaps you felt very much alone in. Now, you know, some journeys you actually do need to travel alone. You can't take every journey with company. There's some things that just need to be done by yourself. So it does look like that's coming to an end. And this wheel is turning probably to complete this journey. But this is definitely a card of feeling fatigued and I almost can't make it. But it just requires that little bit more of a push forward. As I said, the energy is sort of like wet sponge energy so far, and coming into April it's feeling wet and heavy. It's sort of like a horse running on wet ground, like wearing an overcoat that's completely sodden. It has that heavy sort of feeling. So you may have to struggle on just that little bit more, okay? Now, I know in the Northern Hemisphere you're coming into spring and we're moving into autumn here in the Southern Hemisphere, but I'm talking about the energy I can feel in the atmosphere, okay? It's not really the energy in terms of the weather or the disasters or the climate where you live. This is kind of almost like a cosmic energy. It just feels a little bit watery and heavy. It's like the ground is sodden with water. Your clothes feel sodden. As I said, the water wheel is having difficulty turning because either the water is too deep for the water wheel or not deep enough. It just feels like it's just can't turn the way it's supposed to turn. Here we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles, a lovely abundant energy. Now you've got the King and the Queen of Pentacles on the table here. There could be a separation between the two of you if there are two energies in your family or maybe a partnership. There might be a little bit of a gap here between the two of you. It could be that you're living separate at the moment or apart for some reason, while one of you has had to do something. It's like there are times when one of you needs to move away to take up their work, and that puts a little bit of a gap, and it can feel like quite a long journey because then both of you are then travelling on your own. Here she's being carried, so this is total abundance. She's surrounded by fruit and opulence, being carried, lovely sunshiny energy, rich. This is somebody who knows how to spend their money. As you can see here, the king here, he is abundant. He knows how to enjoy his money as well. Between the two, there seems to be this long pathway, a singular pathway, I might add. So one of you has perhaps had to travel, but there's been a gap of some sort. So hopefully that's coming back together. It's got the 9 of Cups. And the energies here, we've got very masculine energy here and very feminine energy here. But again, the cards are gender neutral, so I'm not quite sure how that relates. I mean, it just can be also when you're stepping into this organisational power here, when you are being analytical, that's very much what they consider to be a masculine trait. So these two cards are more masculine and these ones are more feminine. But either way, if this is a connection between the two of you, maybe you and a partner, then it's a good match. But it looks like one of you has taken a long journey of separation. Somehow something has separated you, but that looks like it's coming to an end soon. I'm going to clarify these cards now. Oh, I didn't talk about this Knight of Cups. Let me have a quick look. Here he is again. There's this watery energy pulling the water, and look at the amount of water that's pouring out of this cup. This Knight of Cups, he's waiting to receive what's coming emotionally. He wants some extra commitment. He wants some extra love perhaps to come his way. He's waiting for an outpouring of love, which is rather interesting because he's on the, can you see the black and white tiles? That is almost like strategic. He has got the sword by his side, so strategy. So this is indication here, this black and white and the sword tells me that perhaps he's being a little bit strategic about how he goes about trying to find love. He wants to travel through this portal. He wants to go into a different realm where the love perhaps is a little bit more free-flowing. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can clarify these cards now, Capricorn. But actually the energies on the table are beautiful. The only one that's a little bit of concern is this mirroring of this 9 of Pentacles. But even then, I don't think that's of any great alarm, any situation of great alarm. This is a card of solitude as well, and this is a card of solitude. So, as I said, it feels like some journey that someone has gone on, a journey of solitude and reflection. Okay, let's clarify. I'm going to use these little cards. They have wonderful energy. They're very simple but very clear. Whereas these cards are very, they give off a lot of energy, but a lot of emotional energy as well. But these cards are a little bit more clinical, but they still give off a lot of good energy. So I hope you're enjoying the reading so far. It often makes a lot more sense once we start overlaying the cards. No, it doesn't want to come. Okay. Whenever they don't want to come, I just let them go. 7 of Wands. I'm going to, oh, we've got 2. 4 of Cups. So we've got 4 of Cups here, which is that one, and the 7 of Wands. I'm going to turn them sideways because I'm not sure how they fit in. Better I put them there. The 7 of Wands in reverse. That's a little bit of defensiveness, and it's interesting that it's, in this case, paired with this 4 of Cups. Perhaps people are criticising you for being too solitary, and it has raised some defensiveness from you, but we'll have a look. I'll keep going with this reading. So 9 of Pentacles, let's have a look at this. Nine of Pentacles, we've got the Six of Cups, there's beautiful energy. Let's clarify the Page of Wands. No, it doesn't want to come. These cards are very, very good at sticking together when they don't want to show me something. The Fool. No. Six of Wands is the Queen of Cups. Okay, I don't think we've got the Queen of Cups. No, we haven't. Wheel of Fortune. Queen of Pentacles. Well, we've got the Queen of Pentacles here, but here it's in the reverse. Nine of Cups. No, it doesn't want to come. Queen of Wands. Five of Cups. Oh, that's rather interesting. Okay. You know, and with this Five of Cups on top of this Four of Cups, perhaps you've allowed yourself these are emotional memories that you can drown in very quickly if you stay there too long. And this is the card of grief and loss and sadness, and that's on top of this Four of Cups. Do you remember how I said here that perhaps this Four of Cups here, that if you stay in that energy for some time, people become impatient, because people, if outsiders are not going through that grief and loss and state of depression, they become quickly impatient with you because they like, aren't you over it yet? Well, sometimes you're not over it yet, and sometimes it takes longer than you think. And then sometimes you become a little bit defensive because, you know, you're emotionally not ready to go forward, and other people sometimes are prodding you to get a move on. So that can cause you to become emotionally defensive, because it looks like here this Four of Cups, this period of reflection is perhaps grief coming to the surface again, or some memory of remorse or regret or loss, because it does feel like it's washing up to the surface, and that's the energy I was talking about that feels a lot like that's around at the moment. A lot of this energy of bringing things back to the surface. And it's interesting because the Sword is also being brought back to the surface. So that's rather interesting. Got the World, so of the ending of a cycle. Okay. King of Pentacles, we've got the Knight of Wands, Nine of Wands, pardon me, and I know now that it's the plants, for some reason the greens give off an irritation. I'm very sensitive to plants, and I know that I've only got to cut a little piece off a tree, and I can feel that it somehow releases a chemical. So pardon me for the little coughing. The King of Cups. No, it doesn't want to come. Queen of Pentacles is the Page of Pentacles as well. Okay, I'll take a quick look what's on the bottom. Okay, we've got the Moon. Okay, the Moon. That's there as well. All right. Now we've got the Six of Cups. So this is this nostalgia again. Rather a sense of innocent times. Perhaps remembering, and as I say, it feels very much to me like things are being brought to the surface from long ago. It's almost, and I'm not talking past lives here because this reading has nothing to do with past lives, but it does feel like, I will describe it as, it's almost like our emotions are being brought to the surface just to rise up and to look at again. Things that perhaps we haven't processed completely in the past are being brought back up to the surface. It's almost like the moon. It's almost like how the moon draws the water to the surface. And that's what I'm feeling very much. It's like this energy here, allowing the emotions to wash back over you and to just look at them again in case there's anything you haven't quite processed. So it's things that we haven't dealt with. It's like maybe somebody in your life passed away, maybe, you know, even 10 years ago, and then you thought you had processed all of it, and then suddenly something happens and it just comes to the surface and tears come to your eyes. Just allow them to flow, because sometimes it's just that last little bit of washing and healing that releases that last little bit of energy. So here we've got this nostalgia, and that's sort of what I'm feeling. It's almost like looking backwards. This watery energy that I'm feeling around at the moment very much is almost this nostalgia, this looking backwards. Everybody make sure you've looked backwards, because we will be charging ahead at one point, but at the moment you've still got some time to look backwards. So that's what I'm getting the feeling. We're not quite ready to make this journey. It's like this Page of Wands. You're just giving a little bit of time to have a little bit of a pause and a rest before the next leg of the journey. That's what I'm feeling here. And again, here's this Queen of Cups, allowing this cup just to pour out and flow. So this is an energy here of just allowing this energy to flow. It does feel extremely watery to me. So I do think for some reason we're meant to look at our past emotional life and how we reacted. Did we allow all of it to come loose so that we can go forward? Here we've got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse position. So, which is interesting. So I do feel here that because it's on top of this Wheel of Fortune, that this Queen of Pentacles, before she takes this next leg of her journey, before she continues further hard work, and before she commits her money to something, she just needs to pause that little while. It does give me some little pauses here where you need to pause just before the energy starts to turn. Got the Queen of Wands here again, this wanting to manifest, wanting to start again. Perhaps this is just a time to sit back and just, as I say, drink from the cups, reflect on your life, look at, acknowledge with gratitude, and give thanks for what you've received. Be grateful for the bounty of the things that you have and the things that you take for granted on an everyday basis, because it does feel like you're not quite ready to manifest yet. You're not quite ready to move forward and step up into this energy of the Queen of Wands. And again, this Queen of Pentacles right on top of this Wheel of Fortune. Again, it feels very much like you're not quite ready to move forward. You're just meant to be there in that state of gratitude and accept and allow the things to flow towards you, okay? Like I said before, the Four of Cups and this Five of Cups. So I do feel that some sort of a grief or a loss or a sadness, it can be all the things that you've done. Sometimes when you look back on your life and you think, oh my goodness, I can't believe I behaved like that so many years ago. So some of those things wash back to the surface and you just say, look, I did the best I could at the time and I made mistakes, and perhaps I didn't behave in the way that I would like to behave today, but you weren't that person then. So you need to also accept that you have changed as time goes on. You can't always be overly critical of yourself because you were younger then, so your energy levels were different, the circumstances were different, the people you met then were different. So allow your experiences to just come to the surface. You can't alter the past. That's one thing you definitely can't change. You can't change the past. You can't go back. We don't get that. We can remember, but we're not meant to go back. So just allow that experience to come to the surface, take a look at it and let it go. Okay, it's almost like mirroring it. Look at that experience, look at the energy, allow, it's almost like look at it in the mirror rather than letting it completely take over your life. Just look at it as if you were watching a movie in a mirror and just allow that energy to flow away. Because we're coming to the end of a cycle here. So definitely for you, Capricorn, you've given this cycle everything you've got. There isn't any more for you to give. This cycle is, when this Wheel of Fortune turns, your cycle will be complete and you will have given as much to that cycle as you can, and you then have to be ready for the next cycle. Here comes the Knight of Wands. So here comes this enthusiasm again. So it's approaching towards the end of April. So this enthusiasm starts to build inside you. This creative urge starts to build and it comes charging in. So that should happen fairly soon, probably towards the end of April. But here again is this King of Cups. As you can see, this is again this sort of, I will call it Neptune energy because it has this sort of weightiness to it. And I don't know if you've ever swum in what they call heavy surf, where the water is filled with sand and it's extremely difficult to move. It's like where the sand and the ocean have become liquefied together, and it can pull you down. It's extremely heavy. That energy of this card feels extremely heavy. You know, you may not be able to move as quickly as you want because the energy around your legs may feel heavy. And that's probably deliberate. I think that's part of this cycle that we're going through. And you can see he's got a little fish on his chest there. Just allowing, be like a fish, just don't swim upstream, just allow it to move, okay? Be like a fish, just float through that water. And here we've got the Page of Pentacles. So she's on dry land, she's holding the pentacle, she continues her journey. So this is where the journey, perhaps at the end of April, you can pick up and you start to continue your journey. And then I think everything feels a little bit brighter. It does feel like April may be a little bit heavy and sort of soggy for you, but allow it, because it's part of the process. If you just allow that watery energy, it's like having a long shower or a long bath. You soak, you relax, you think about things, and then when you come out, you feel a little bit refreshed. You're a little bit sluggish for a while because you're so relaxed, but then you can pick up the pace fairly soon, and you're revitalized, and there's no baggage attached because you've already looked at those things and let them go. I'm going to leave the reading there, Capricorn. I hope it makes sense to you. Again, this moon energy, I feel in this case it feels more like the weight of the moon pulling the water towards you, and it's on top of this Knight of Cups, so it's almost like a little bit too much water. And that's almost like a tidal surge. Allow it up and just wait for it to dissipate. Okay, that's probably the best way I can describe it. Thank you so much for watching, Capricorn. Bye for now.